So I'm here in PowerPoint. I'm going to show you how to add in a chart into a PowerPoint slide. I'm also going to show you how you can copy a chart over from Excel. A lot of people like creating charts in Excel and they're really useful. Useful thing is if you do update it in Excel, it will also update in PowerPoint as well. So I'm here on a slide. I'm just going to add in a new slide here. Let's just choose one that's got title and content. Just going to click on that. And you get these options here of the type of content that you want to add, of which insert chart is here. So let's just click on that. And I'm going to add in a pie chart. And I think I'm actually going to go for a 3D pie chart because that kind of looks nice in a presentation. So let's just click on OK. You could choose other charts as well. Now what it does is it kind of opens up a version of Excel in here with some data that's already in there. So let's just change this. I'm just going to change this to training, and I'm going to change this to, let's just put in January, and let's just do February, March, and April. I'm not too worried about what all the numbers and everything are. So let's just do 20, 35, 10, and 20 again. So as I'm typing it in, you can see it's changing the chart here. And by the way, just so you know, even though I'm doing this on Windows here, this works exactly the same way on a Mac. Okay, so I've done that. So I can close my little version of Excel over here. So we can click on that to close it. Just so you know, if I go to chart design, I can click here to go into edit data again, and I can make changes. So that's opened it there. There is also the option, if I go here and I go to that drop down, of choosing edit data in Excel, and that would actually open up Excel and do exactly the same thing. If I click on that, it's actually opened up. There you go. It's opened it up here in Excel. And you may have spotted actually that in the background, I've got another Excel spreadsheet, which I'm just going to then copy that over. So let's just go back to PowerPoint. So here we are, that's my chart. The other way of doing it, if I go into Home and I just choose a new slide, let's just choose a blank slide here, is I could have gone into Insert, and I could then have gone to my chart option here, click on that, and I get exactly the same option here as well. Let's just choose a bar chart and pop that in. Okay, so you've got the same thing in there, same sort of idea. If you're used to working with charts, you can do all these kind of things that you would do in Excel as well. So just very quickly, how can you copy this across from Excel? Well, if I go into Home, let's just put in a new blank slide here. It doesn't have to be blank, but it's not a bad idea. I'm going to go over to Excel. Here's my chart. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to choose copy. I'm now going to go to PowerPoint. And I've got my paste options here. I could right click or go into my top left hand corner on the home ribbon. And I could choose paste here, and there's various options. And you can see as I move over them, it's going to actually show me a preview. Now, it's showing you things like using the destination theme, using the source formatting and embed into the workbook. And you can see here it's source formatting and linked data, so that if you make a change in Excel, it will change here too. So let's just use that one. And I can do things like change the size of it. So I can move things around. It's come up with the designer here on the right hand side. I can do things to make it look a little bit better for a presentation rather than just sitting in the side there. So it's all doing some kind of nice designing in there as well. Let's just come back to my pie chart here. So I'm here on it and I've got my chart design. And again, I could go into my chart styles and choose different things. Like I've now got, if I choose this one here, it's got the names here actually on each of the pie pieces and just different styles, and each of these might just appeal to you. So I've got that one. Let's just click on that one to keep it. And you can see I've got my pie chart pieces here, and I could potentially do things like I could change the name at the top if I click on that. I could just delete it by just clicking on it and then pressing delete. I can change this to say something like training data and so on. I can do things like change the formatting. So if I was to triple click on all of it to select it, I could change the font. I could change it to something else. I could change the color of it, which might not be a good idea for some of them. So there it is. It's not going to stand out too well. So I'm going to change that back to this. And I could do the same here for each of these. So this one here, you can see April is hard to read. So let me click on it again. And I can now right click. I can now change the font. Let's just change that to a better color here. So let's just go to the font color. And maybe something like black is going to appeal better on there. So you might have to change some of these. You'll see that when I click on the first one, it's got all of them selected. Clicking again, right click on any sort of part of the pie chart will make it okay to change. So I could click here, I could click on a pie piece, and I might think to myself, I'm not really happy with that. I can go and change things up at the top here, so I could change colors of all of the pie pieces. But if I wanted to, I could just right click here and I could change the fill to something else, and you can see it's doing it as I move over it. Let's just maybe change it to that. You can have an outline which is around each pie piece. So we could change it to something maybe like this. And if I come back down to it, I can change the weight of it. So I'm choosing things to make it really obvious. Now, I only had that pie piece selected, so you can see it's done to that pie piece. Okay, one useful thing you've got on pie charts is if you click on a pie piece on its own, you can click and drag it out to explode that piece out. And you could do it for more if you like. So I could move this one. If I don't want that moved out, I can move that back in. So, and they can be different amounts as well. So this one can be further and so on. So you've got a lot of different options there. So you've got all sorts of things across the top here. You could go to this quick layout. You can see that's putting the percentages in, no labels on it, and so on. It's got the legend down the bottom. If you've got these here, by the way, and it's showing what they are actually on the labels, I could just click here and just press delete to get rid of it, clearing up space on there. You've got chart elements that you can put back in. So if I go to the chart element here, I can add in a title, which I've got already at the top. It could be centered on the overlay. It's already above the charts. You've got data labels, so you can see that they are centered. I could have none. The great thing is as I move over any of these, it's actually showing me a preview of it. And I deleted the legend, and I could potentially put it back at the bottom, to the right, top, left, let's do bottom again, and it doesn't have to stay quite there. Let's just do that again. I can move this around to wherever I want. So as you can see, charts, there's a lot you can do, and I would highly recommend that you actually go and play around with it and see what is possible. There's a lot of options in here. So the other thing you can do is change the chart type. I got it as my pie chart done. So let's just try something out here. Let's go to a bar chart, click on OK. You might prefer that. Let's go back to my pie charts, and it's going to. And the great thing is it has remembered, although I chose the 2D pie charts, I wanted the 3D pie charts. So there you go. So it's remembered what I had there before. It's really easy to, and just like I did with the one that I brought in from Excel, I can make it bigger like that. Don't forget, you can also go into the tab across the top on your ribbon to format. You've got all sorts of things you can do here with text and things like that as well. So you can float over and do that. So you're probably used to changing things with text as well. Thanks for watching. If you do like this, please do like, share and subscribe and come back for more.